Please welcome.
So, Professor Halten, Minister August, Dr. Simao, General Iversen, Mrs. Zusman, ladies and gentlemen, and participants of the most important event at the 2026 Munich Security Conference. So thank you for accepting this invitation and making the time to be here. I think there is so much to discuss here at the Munich Security Conference, especially in these difficult times. The different raging conflicts would provide enough food for debate on their own, but the quietly lurking threats also deserve our attention, and that includes pandemics. How fortunate that we have CEPI, the International Vaccine Initiative, a product of a global health alliance. I want to strengthen this alliance, especially in these difficult times. International cooperation is under pressure. We feel it with CEPI as well. We're experiencing tectonic shifts in geopolitics. The national focus of great power politics is shaking the foundations of the global order. The world is realigning. Of course, change is always challenging, but it also creates new opportunities. Those who seize them are no longer at the mercy of others. They take matters into their own hands. They actively shape the future. This is precisely what my country aims to do. Chancellor Friedrich Merz expressed it very clearly when he spelled out what we have to offer to other countries around the world, and I quote, "partnerships on the basis of mutual respect, mutual trust and reliability," end quote. CEPI is the best proof of that. Germany has been involved right from the beginning. We are a consistent contributor. We will pay a total of 100 million euros up to 2030 because we are convinced that crisis prevention works best together. CEPI is the best insurance against pandemic. If the worst comes to the worst, CEPI will be able to save many lives. Our initiative is making the world a safer place and thus a better one. Our combined strength depends on every single contributor. We are working on this in Germany too. Looking at the world, it becomes clear that we must reassert our technological and economic strength. Our response is the high-tech agenda Germany. Our ministry alone will invest 18 billion euros. Hundreds of partners are already on board. Universities, research institutions, established companies, startups, industry associations, and all levels of government. They bring expertise as well as additional funding. We are focusing on 6 key technologies and we have ambitious goals for them. Let me give you a few examples that have significance for health. One goal concerns innovative drugs. We want them to get to patients twice as fast and also at low cost. We want to use quantum sensors for diagnosis so we can detect diseases much earlier. In fact, biotechnology as a whole is one of the key technologies where we want to be world leaders. Our high-tech agenda identifies health research as a strategic research field. As the world's 3rd largest economy, we lead. We are a motor and a driver, and always open to cooperation, not least for the sake of global health. Diseases do not stop at national borders. This brings me back to CEPI. Leading health institutions in Germany, world-class university hospitals, the German biotech scene and pharmaceutical companies, they all cooperate with CEPI to develop innovative technologies and to create a global shield against tomorrow's pandemics. We can't afford to waste time. You all remember COVID-19. It made us bitterly aware how quickly a new pathogen can turn everything upside down, how it can threaten millions of lives in a very short time, how it can disrupt our daily lives, hampering trade and supply chains, and costing enormous amounts of money. And add to this climate change, globalization, and unequal global preparedness, which all help the pathogen to spread more quickly. Experts warn that pandemics are a real danger of our time. Another outbreak is certain, we just don't know when or where. And that is why we have CEPI, why we are pooling cutting-edge research on drugs, and why we are building international networks. Because we know that we can only stop global pandemics by halting infections locally. CEPI is already a success story. Since its founding, $4.25 billion have been mobilized. More than 50 vaccine candidates have been developed, and more than 25 platforms projects supported. CEPI is less than a year old, but it's already a pillar of the global health security architecture. The current challenge is known as the 100 days mission, as we see at the screen behind me. And that means when the threat of another pandemic emerges, we want to be able to develop an effective vaccine within 100 days. This vaccine must be globally accessible and distributed fairly. So it's good that CEPI 3.0 is starting. Thank you to everyone supporting the program, to those who invest in research and trust in cooperation, especially in these times when research is under pressure in some places. Instead of confrontation, we choose cooperation. This is the better path, and it's the one that makes better economic sense. As Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, put it in his speech in Davos, collective investments in resilience are cheaper than everyone building their own fortresses. In other words, cooperation pays off, and so does prevention. And CEPI is prevention on a grand scale. Therefore, CEPI is worth it. Thank you.
Coalition for Epidemics, Honourable Professor Andrew Solinger.
And I didn't get the skirt warning, but fortunately I wore pants.
You did very well. Thank you so much, Dr. Marcus.
Guys, it's a thing.
It is a thing. Jane, thank you so much for joining us. We're really pleased to be here as discussed and would love to get into it and talk a little bit about the CEPI mission, the 100 days mission. And maybe you could start off by sharing with us a little bit about how the global risk landscape has changed since you launched CEPI and the 100 days mission, since it was conceptualized, and why its objective is even more vital and important today.
And it is, you're right. Let me just start, though, by thanking the State Secretary, but also acknowledging that the first investor in CEPI 3.0 is Germany. Thank you.
A round for Germany.
They were determined to be first, and they won, which was excellent. So the threat landscape, when we started CEPI,